Hi everybody,
Hey guys.
and welcome to episode 5.
Is it? Episode 5?
Yeah, of the Creative Talk podcast.
We do apologise, a bit inconsistent. We're trying to get them every week,
Yeah,
but due to work, we've sort of done one now this week. Next week is maybe Lee on his own,
yeah.
because I am absolutely chock-a-block at the moment with the studio stuff. And then we've got Christmas coming up. When are we having a break for Christmas too?
Well, it'll probably be the Star Wars weekend will probably be it,
weekend, yeah.
which is 2 weeks. We're going to see it.
But we always see each other on Christmas anyway, so
Yeah.
we just want to see us.
So welcome YouTube friends,
Yep.
welcome iTunes friends, welcome SoundCloud friends, and wherever you're listening to us or watching us. Enjoy the show. Alright, in this episode we're going to be talking about my topic, which would be script writing and how to get ideas for producing scripts. And Mike's going to be talking about...
I'm going to be talking about a certain camera company that may be buying it. Well, apparently have bought another camera company, so it's all at the moment. It is. It was released. There was a small press release the other day from Digital Rev that explained a lot of it, but I'll go into more later. I will. Kind of cool.
Okay, so let's kick things off then with script writing. As a short filmmaker, the script is everything, and basically you come up with an idea, and what I do, I go through the whole process thinking what are the characters, what are their motivations, how is it going to end, and I usually think of writing the beginning first, then writing the end, and then the middle will kind of like sort itself out and meet in the middle. That might not work for any of you in the profession watching this or listening to this, but that's what works for me. Lately it's been very hard to get ideas for fresh scripts due to work commitments and everything else happening in life.
Everything else seems to be coming out as well. You're coming out with an idea and it seems to be already there.
Yeah.
Or this is going back a couple of years now. We'd get an idea, start producing the idea, and then suddenly Hollywood already had the idea and they have a series on TV.
Yeah.
Terminator.
Yeah. Terminator. There was a good cracking idea we had way back when we had a unit up in Cumberland, and it was an idea for the films always follow John Connor or his mother. His battle against the Terminator, but you never saw what happened to the public. And our little idea was it was going to be we were going to play two lab assistants working in Cyberdyne, running side by side the events of Terminator 3. So when they basically put Skynet online. And it was going to follow us too as we tried to survive in the world which had just been nuked and there's robots everywhere. And then shortly after that they announced Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Yes, which was basically our story. Thank you for that.
So I'm like,
yeah, but this is like literally like 3 months after we sort of started work on this idea.
Yeah.
There was even one set that we were building which was, if I remember right, it was the ducks.
Yeah, the ADUX.
Yeah, ducks. And I literally got all these boxes from a place I used to work in.
And on the foil one as well.
We were basically building ADUX and putting foil in. The next thing you know, that just popped up on the internet. So,
Connor Chronicles greenlit.
This is great.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
And then we had another one then, which involved mirrors and the supernatural and shadow people, etc. And then was it Kiefer Sutherland or was it
Kiefer Sutherland, the mirrors.
And he made mirrors.
That was a shame. We actually sat and wrote that script. The idea of it was based on a Japanese
script,
it's
based on Japanese mythology.
And it was basically about a shadow in a mirror that if you're sort of there, you're sort of near the mirror, the shadow would leak out the mirror. And if you're sort of touching your shadow, you disappear. We came up with loads of little events for the film.
Yeah, we came up with a stunning shot which involved the town centre of Abdulliri, and the lead character would be walking through the town and he'd be surrounded by these shadow people, which would just be walking about doing everyday things that we would do. They couldn't see him, but he could see them, and it was a good idea. And then
we even came up, I think I remember part of the script, we came up with a story of being in a shopping centre, and I think that's how the movie was going to start. And it was a mother and a little girl, and the little girl had fallen over and cut her knee.
That's it.
And we'd taken the shot then was the little girl being taken into the toilet to have her knee cleaned up, and she sat on the side of the
little shelf thing in it,
and she's pointing at the mirror, and her mum say, hang on, and I think we wrote it so your mother bends down to get plasters and other things out of her purse, and then you see the shadow leak out the mirror, and the little girl goes to reach out and touch hands with the shadow, and as her mother comes back up to put a plaster on, the baby's gone. She's just in there screaming, and it's a shame. We worked hard on that script. There's another one we worked hard on as well, which was Soldiers, which is one of our very first scripts we ever did.
I remember that.
soldiers, the two soldiers. About two soldiers being lost in enemy lines.
Set in World War II.
That's it. And we sat and literally wrote this script out, page by page by page by page, and went right through it. And it was basically the next thing we know, we basically needed a budget for about £1 million.
At least.
Film it.
At least.
Because we'd gone from, right, we got a couple of suits and helmets. Now suddenly we needed tanks and an airfield.
And Germans. Paratroopers.
So yeah, with the script writing, there's different ways of writing the scripts. When I used to do them, I used to get like a story in my head and then work out from the story, about the lines and things and who played what. That was one of my favourite ways of doing it. It got harder and harder doing them, especially for Gemini. So hard to keep surprises going then.
Yeah.
To the point I was reading serial killer books about actual serial killers. And not like the TV ones, which is kind of freaking disturbing. Especially if I've actually seen Gemini. There's a couple of disturbing things on TVs.
Yeah.
There is, not including the year and the parcel. But I think one of the most disturbing ones was actually based on part of a true story from America of a killer that gave his victim a camera and made him run. And then basically I took that idea about popping up in the woods and suddenly stabbing him while the gentleman was holding the camera. I think the guy actually glued the camera to his victim's hands, and then that's how I sort of come around with it. And but tapes have never been seen of these things, obviously, because they've got the police and things. And it's doing your studying for scripts.
Yeah, it is. It's basically finding what you are passionate about. Then with say sci-fi or horror or whatever, either reading about it or watching those films. So for the Japanese, for mirrors, it was going to be watching films like the Japanese version of The Ring trilogy, The Grudge, Dark Water.
It's a good film.
And things like that. So you get an idea, because when I want to do a horror film, I don't want to do like a Western typical hack slash, everybody's blood everywhere up walls. I want to follow the Japanese style, which is mainly purely suspense, and I find that a much more creepier experience.
It is. The suspense is everything in the film. It's everything for the creepiness. I took a lot of things for Gemini with the suspense. Mostly was like one of the last episodes we shot, and it was when the doc was followed home. And then
he's in the house.
Gemini's creating chaos, and next thing you know, then he knocks on the door and there's a photograph of the doc actually just gone into the house on the door. And so it was something so simple, but it was creepy. There's quite a lot. The other horror films we shot, I know we used a lot of suspense before anything happened. Creepiness,
So basically, just watch them films. Get your inspiration. Action and adventure is a tough genre to do, because you've got to think that's going to be expensive in the long run. Because we did an Indiana Jones short ages and ages ago on top of a local mountain. I was playing indie, and it involved me scrambling up the mountainside underneath rocks and all the rest of it. I enjoyed filming it, and then it was meant to end with a fire, wasn't it? I was running away from fire. And then it just at the time
we didn't have the rendering here.
We didn't have the software. I think we were just using FX Home at the time, which I think which has now become Pinnacle Studio. And our free green screen. About no bigger than like a tea towel,
it was pretty rubbish at the end of the day. Good for Star Wars.
Let me just check our camera battery. No, it's only on one. So that you may suddenly see the camera just suddenly die off on that one, but that's fine. We're still running on the other two. That one's got a battery pack on the back of it.
Okay. Good.
But watch and read about your favourite genres, then produce a short one. Don't
try and keep it simple.
Keep it simple. If you're just starting out and you haven't got a budget like we didn't have, then just keep it simple and use the resources that you have. So it doesn't have to be an expensive camera. Just use any old thing. Use your iPhone. Use a camera phone. Use anything.
Anything you can shoot with.
And then with effects rise, if you don't have a powerful computer, well, just go back to the old school of using practical effects. I mean, we use models on fishing wire and
I think one of the remakes we did, may have been Nunswood remake we did. I think one of the effects we had was a rugby player's gum shield.
Yeah.
And we got a twig, and I screwed a screw through the gum shield into the twig. But again, part of that story was the victim being thrown against a tree and the
branch going to the back of his head out of his mouth.
And all we did then was put the gum shield in, close his mouth, put blood all around it, didn't we? I'm not sure it was he who did it. But again, it was simple things like that. You've got to watch it, because if I remember right, the screw was a bit sticking through. So you have to be a bit careful. It was
a bit tight,
but again, it was simple effects. And they work.
When making your first film or whatever, don't be afraid if it does look a bit ropey or whatever, because as long as you explain it on YouTube, I mean, on YouTube you're always going to get some smart ass who makes a comment and says, oh, this is crap, take it down, you're wasting your time. But at the end of the day, as long as you put in a description saying this is my first film, this is my budget, this is what I used. 9 times out of 10, the smart ass is basically haven't got any content on there. Yeah, and they're just a troll, basically.
So don't worry about that.
And you will get positive support, and you will get some positive feedback.
Yeah, we'll get positive support. Anybody contact us, take a look. When we first started, there was youngsters that set up basically their own studio. And produce some really good work. I think they're more into the little gaming thing at the moment.
Was a Cillian?
Cillian studio.
Based in Northern Ireland.
But some of their early work with 3D stuff was fantastic. It was.
And also for a guy who's following Outpost 51 on Facebook, Leon Prothero, I think he was.
Yeah.
He's been following us for years now, and he's been Cold Land, I think it was, or something like that.
Yeah, he did it. He's just actually graduated with his masters in Cardiff, because he was in university with me. Third year, he was in university with us.
Well done.
He was. So he's just got his masters now.
So don't be scared. Get out there, make films, do whatever you want, as the Film Riot says, and Andrew Kramer, just make something. And when writing a script, think about dialogue. Dialogue is really important.
The script is key as well.
The script is key. When you speak it, don't just read it to yourself and then just give it to the crew on the day, because it'll just lead to chaos and confusion. Or
somebody pointing out that you spelled something wrong. Like Scott.
And you spend hours reading through the script, and and ideally then give it to them a week before. With social media now, it's so easy. Send to them direct message on Facebook, email it them. Make sure they read it, and they can give you their feedback on it, whether you need to put this in or that in.
It's a lot different now since we started.
We just bang anything together when we first started.
It was like bang anything together, or if we had a script, it was I'll email it to you, because it was the only way you could do it.
And then have a read through, have a dry rehearsal, which we do. We often film the rehearsals just to see what the camera angles are like, lighting, etc., and whether the dialogue naturally fits, because it may sound good on paper, but then when somebody's actually speaking it, it can come across completely differently to what you intended.
One of the biggest things you've got to remember as well is make sure you put notes in your scripts. If there's a line that's supposed to be read out angrily, tell them they're supposed to be read out angrily, because the amount of times that we've sort of gone over scripts and perhaps it's just being said. And when we first started doing it, it was we'll make that work, but now it's not, a bit more aggression and things. I think most of the stuff we learned doing horror stuff, wasn't it, when we started doing that. And you playing the detective as well. And it was quite hard for you, because you had to wear an eye patch.
I had to wear an eye patch. Thankfully, it was worn over my bad eye, so it was quite okay.
It was, but you just go out and do it.
Go out and film, write what you want, share it with people.
It's exactly the same as if you're doing photography. Just go out and shoot. If you want to be a photographer, whether you've got a $2.5 camera or you've got a £50 iPhone, go out and do it. You got something, just be creative. You never know what you get.
And don't be scared of the feedback. Just ignore all the haters, because
especially ignore the trolls. Chances are they just sat in their room not doing anything, and they're just jealous because you're actually out there doing something.
Probably playing video games all day. And doing nothing else. So right, we'll move on now, because we've only got about 6 minutes left. We're going to the second topic.
Yes, the second topic. Right, everybody's going a bit loopy at the moment for Nikon, because they announced the D5. But that was it. That's all they announced was the D5, and it was. It's like, well, yes, we know you're inventing the D5. We know it's coming out. And then during the week, then we suddenly have a press release from Digital Rev and Nikon themselves, which was Nikon has purchased Samsung's NX division, which is their mirrorless camera division. Now, this is quite big in a couple of ways. One, Samsung is seen as a direct threat to Sony, who produce probably the best mirrorless camera on the market at the moment, the A27. A72, sorry, A27.
That's a road.
But another big issue is the fact that Lee would know this himself, being a Nikon user, is Nikon use Sony sensors. All sensors in Sony cameras, all sensors in Nikon cameras, sorry, are from Sony. They're all produced by Sony. Any new sensor that goes into a Sony camera, guaranteed a couple of weeks later, will be in a Nikon camera. All the speed sensors on Nikon cameras are all made by Sony. So, Nikon has now come forward to say that they're going to be using Samsung sensors, which technically are a better sensor. They're a lot bigger sensor. They produce more colours. They do, and they're a lot faster. But I kind of got the thing now is, will Nikon be producing a D5? Will it be mirrorless or will it be through the lens DSLR? Or is the rumours about the photography show that they're going to produce one of each for you to choose from? And this is the thing sort of I want to sort of bring up the topic about is what would you choose now? You know, I mean, we've got at the moment, like me, you do through the lens, which is a digital DSLR. It is take photographs. It has a shutter inside with a prism, so as you press a button, click, the shutter opens, and that's how you take the photograph. Of course, with the mirrorless, there is no shutter. It's just the sensor, and you put the lens straight on. It does, but I kind of sort of at the moment. Which way this is going? Because Nikon have always said with Canon that DSLRs are always going to be around because of the quality of the image. There is a difference in quality between a digital image from a mirrorless and from a through the lens. There's a hell of a difference. People say there's not. There is. I find the quality on a DSLR far better than a mirrorless camera at the moment, even though the mirrorless are quite quickly gathering pace. Incredible. It is. I think the biggest thing this is going to involve, though, is more Lee, because at the end of the day, the mirrorless is becoming the king of filming at the moment. It is. And mirrorless cameras are incredible for filming, considering the fact that, I mean, what's the one we going on here? 5,200. It is the Nikon D5200, and right now you can get a camera smaller than that, full frame, that produces 4K from, you know. So, but again, you're looking at $2,500 for the price of things. So that's going to be the big. That's what I sway at the moment.
That is what puts me off. Is the price.
Well, the biggest thing that's putting me off at the moment is not just the camera quality, it's the fact that yes, you can produce 4K, but you got to go up there and buy a 4K monitor or 4K. You have. I mean, the cameras are bloody expensive as it is. But that was the sort of topic I was just bringing it up. It's the fact that this is actually quite a big story then in
the camera world,
especially in the camera world. It's huge. You know, we've got a mainstream Nikon who was voted 2015 best product of the year. And now apparently they've just bought Samsung's NX division, which produces probably one of the best mirrorless cameras in the world, and then they jump in straight into the mirrorless market. So it's going to be quite interesting to see now, especially with the photography show in March in Birmingham, which we always attend. I'm quite looking forward to that, especially as they've already announced the D5 is going to be there. It is. So stay tuned. This is going to get an interesting little
definitely
bit of jump. This is. And
leave your thoughts and comments in the boxes below, wherever you may be.
So definitely have a look around for that one. It's going to be a little interesting run up now past Christmas. What's going on
at Nikon?
I think that's about it really. How long we got, Kurt?
50 odd seconds.
50
well,
odd
there we
seconds.
are. Well,
right.
It's time to wrap it up then, folks.
Next one now will probably not be next week.
It will be in a fortnight. I'll try and keep it like to a fortnightly format now. Gives us time for ideas.
It'll be on the 19th, which is the day we're going to see
Star Wars Day for us.
So myself and Lee will be going to see Star Wars. Sarah and Scott, we're looking forward to this. So we'll be a lot of talk about the Star Wars thing and the build up and everything, because obviously it would have been premiered by now when you see that. So
can't wait, guys.
And cheers, guys.
We'll see you again.
Thanks.
Bye.